Have you ever heard of a group of hikers vanishing in the mountains, only to be found weeks later with bizarre injuries? That's the chilling mystery of the Dyatlov Pass. 9 hikers set out for a winter trek in the Ural Mountains but never returned. The search party found their tent abandoned, some strangely undressed, and others with injuries so horrific they defied explanation. What unseen forces befell these adventurers? Subscribe now to unravel the chilling truth of the Dyatlov Pass. On January 23, 1958, 10 hikers embarked on a winter expedition through the Ural Mountains in Russia. After a few days, one hiker withdrew due to health concerns, leaving 9 to continue their journey. They planned to report their status to the sports club 3 weeks later. However, when no communication was received by February 20th, a search party was launched. The subsequent searches revealed harrowing sights. The bodies of 5 hikers were discovered scattered across the snowy terrain. Each was in a different state of undress, and their injuries were bizarre. One even seemed to have bitten off his own finger joint. The strange conditions of their discovery added a haunting layer to the already chilling silence of these snow-blanketed mountains. Several months later, as the snow melted, the last 4 hikers were found, revealing even more perplexing injuries. Among the unsettling discoveries were a hiker with a fractured skull, another with a twisted neck, and 2 with their eyes removed. One of these also had her tongue missing. The bizarre and brutal conditions of their demise have sparked a flurry of theories. Suggestions have ranged from natural disasters and secret weapon tests to supernatural occurrences, including attacks by mythical creatures like Yetis. Despite the variety of hypotheses, the truth behind this incident remains elusive, shrouded in mystery and an unresolved controversy. Most of the questions around this incident revolves around what the rescue and search officers found, and trying to find an explanation to what happened to these men. The search team initially found the tent buried under snow and collapsed, yet the belongings inside were mostly untouched. The hikers' footwear, clothing, and gear were orderly placed, and there was even food prepared on a plate, suggesting an abrupt departure. It appeared that the tent had been cut open from the inside, a fact later confirmed by a tailor. Not far from the tent, about several hundred yards away, 2 bodies were discovered beside the remnants of a fire, dressed only in their underwear. A medical examiner's investigation revealed burns on one of the body, and found that he had bitten off a piece of flesh from his hand, indicating extreme distress. The search team also discovered the remains of the hiking group leader and one of the female hikers in a location indicating they might have been attempting to return to their tent. Subsequently, the searchers found one last body, which also suggested that he was on his way back to the tent at the time of his demise. The initial findings indicated that all 5 students succumbed to hypothermia, which can lead to disorientated behavior, including paradoxical undressing, where individuals removed their clothes due to the feelings of warmth despite the lethal cold. However, 4 of the group were still unaccounted for at the time. In May, as the snow further melted, a local hunter stumbled upon what looked like a snow shelter. Inside this improvised refuge, the rescue team found the remains of the final 4. Interestingly, for 3 of the individuals found in the snow shelter, hypothermia was not the cause of death. One of them had suffered a catastrophic skull fracture with fragments of bone piercing his brain. 2 others exhibited severe chest injuries. Additionally, their eye sockets were empty, and one of them was missing their tongue. The initial investigation did not conclude that these deaths resulted from criminal actions. Rather, it was determined that they perished due to a compelling natural force. However, some people in Russia suspected that the Soviet authorities might be hiding the truth. The discovery of radiation on some of the hikers' clothing sparked theories that their deaths might have been linked to a secret weapons test. This speculation was supported by the fact that 2 years earlier there had been a nuclear incident near the area. Notably, one of the hikers had lived in the area directly affected by this contamination, and another had participated in the cleanup efforts. Despite these explanations, many continued to believe that the government was concealing the true circumstances of the incident. Various theories have since emerged, including those of Yetis, the KGB, and the CIA. As of today, one of the most prominent theories is called the slab avalanche theory. In 2019, the Russian government reopened the investigation into the incident. The lead prosecutor introduced a new theory suggesting a slab avalanche might have been the cause. According to him, the incline where the hikers set up their tent was not typically prone to avalanches. However, he proposed that a slab of snow could still have been dislodged and slid over their tent. Fearing a more substantial avalanche, the hikers might have hastily cut their tent open from the inside and fled without their boots. He continues to speculate that after escaping, the hikers believed they were at a safe distance and therefore lit a fire and constructed a snow den for shelter. Tragically, this shelter could have collapsed, inflicting the severe injuries found on the bodies recovered from inside this den.
Slab avalanche released right above the tent and surprised them while they were sleeping. Some of them got injured and they had to cut the tent from the inside to escape.
He also suggested that animals searching for food were likely responsible for the missing eyes and tongue. And finally, those who did not make it to the den likely perished from the cold. Following the release of this theory, some researchers from Switzerland have tested its feasibility. In 2021, they published a paper in Communications Earth and Environment using mathematical models to evaluate if a slab avalanche could realistically occur, given the tense location and the weather conditions at the time. And shockingly, their findings supported the possibility of such an avalanche. One of these research professors stated, "We do not claim to have a final explanation, but we added plausibility to the avalanche theory," and later adding, "It's the best explanation we have." Many who analyzed the Dyatlov Pass incident remain skeptical, and the specifics of the slab avalanche theory are widely contested. However, this theory continues to be perhaps the most credible explanation for the tragic events that occurred on that cold, lonely night in 1959. And with that, we end today's video. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and let us know in the comments what videos you'd like to see next.